Here is a 10-minute intermediate core workout. We're going to go through your hips, your abs, your lower back, and by the end of this, you're going to be feeling like you got a really good workout because you did. You don't need any equipment for this workout. We're going to get started on your back. First exercise starts with your knees over your hips, your arms out to the sides, and we're going to start by pulling your lower back into the ground. So engage your abs, right? Tense up like someone's going to punch you there, and pull your lower back into the ground. Now, you shouldn't be able to bring your hands underneath your lower back. Try to seal off any space between your back and the ground. And then make sure that you're pulling down through the left and the right sides, not just one or the other. Now, from here, you're going to slowly bring your legs as far away from your shoulders as possible. As you start to straighten your legs, make sure that your lower back stays in contact with the ground. If it comes up, don't bring your legs any further forward. So only going as far forward as you can while keeping the lower back on the ground. As you inhale, think about breathing from your abs to your ribs. As you exhale, squeeze your core and pull your lower back into the ground. We're going to do 3 more breaths here. Remember, to make it more challenging, bring the legs further away from you or lower them closer to the ground. Keep that lower back pulling down into the ground. That's what makes this effective. 1 more breath. Breathe to your ribs. Exhale, squeeze. And then bring your knees back over the hips. Plant your feet, and from here, take it into a bridge. Press down through your feet. Squeeze your butt. Push your hips into the air. Squeeze your butt cheeks. We want to get the glutes firing here. Drive the knees forward. Make sure that both feet are in full contact with the ground. So your big toes, the little toes, your heels, ball mounds of the feet, all of that is pushing into the ground. So your thighs are really working here. Glutes are engaged. And then use your heels to pull your shoulders slightly forward. So now we've got some really good engagement through your hamstrings, the glutes, your core, your lower back, everything. Now from here, we're going to add a slow march. So without moving this right hip, and go ahead and look at your right hip here, lift your left knee off the ground just a little bit, okay? All right, so lifting that left foot off the ground, hiking up that knee, and then set your left foot back down. And once again, keeping the hips level, slowly lift your right knee a little bit higher. The trick to this is keeping the hips stable as you move from side to side. So set down the right foot, lift up your left foot. So even though your legs are moving, you want to keep your hips as stable as possible. And if you can do that correctly, you're going to feel some pretty massive contractions in your glutes. Pretty solid glute engagement. So that's what we're doing here. We're building hip stability, strengthening your glutes. It's also a really good way for you to notice imbalances left to right. Most people are going to have one side's going to feel not as strong as the other, and that's normal. We're going to do 2 more of these to each side. So again, these slow marches, these are really good for warm-ups, by the way, if you're doing a sort of lower body workout. Or if you've got back pain, also really good for that. And then go ahead and slowly release down. All right, nice job. From here, we're going to flip over onto your stomach. We're going to go into some plank shoulder taps. So you're going to start with your hands under your shoulders. Go ahead and press down through where your fingers meet your palms. Make sure your wrists are really strong. And then fully protract the shoulder blades. So press your shoulders up as high as you can. Shoulder blades are going to spread. Make sure that your head is slightly forward so you're not shrugging your shoulders near the ears. Pull your belly button up toward your lower back. Spread your feet a little bit more than you normally would. And then from here, shoulder tap. So very slowly, once again, trying to keep the hips as stable as possible. Bring your left hand to your right shoulder. Set it down. And then bring your right hand to your left shoulder. Set it down. And then go slowly back and forth like this. Now the goal here is to keep the hips stable. So if you're doing it and your hips are rocking from side to side, you're not doing that correctly. You want to make sure that you're trying to keep the hips as stable as possible as you move from one hand to the other. And that's where the challenge and the effectiveness of this exercise comes into play. So not going fast here, but going really slow. This is also an added bonus for your shoulders. When we get into this fully protracted position with the shoulder blades, We're working on your serratus anterior. It's a really important muscle to work for the shoulders to keep your shoulders healthy and happy. We're going to do a couple more to each side. Again, slowly going from side to side here, keeping the hips stable. And then taking it down to a side plank, and then taking it down to a side plank on your right forearm. Hey, before we go into the next pose, I've got a free 30-day challenge you can do here on the Manful Yoga YouTube channel. The link for that will be in the description below when we're finished. Okay, let's go do side plank. So plant the right forearm, roll your shoulders back so your hips and shoulders are facing to the outside. Drive the hips up. If you need to make this a little easier, you can bring your knees down. You can also stagger your feet. If you struggle in a side plank, probably means that you're a human being. So, hey, that's okay. Side planks are really challenging, especially if you don't do a lot of upper body. There's not a ton of upper body in yoga, so I would encourage you to practice side planks more often. Make sure the hips are driving up as high as possible. Again, everything stays facing to the outside. Don't roll back your shoulder so that you're facing up. Keep that facing to the outside. You can bring your left hand to your left hip, or you can extend it straight up. From here, we're going to add in some pulses. So I want you to drive up as high as possible. Let it relax a little bit. And then as you exhale again, drive up as high as possible. Inhale, let it release. Exhale, drive up. Do 3 more of these. Try to keep active through the right upper back. You should feel that in the upper back, not in the chest as much. Last one. And then straighten to the left side. Go ahead and plant your left forearm. Roll to the other side. Bring your right hand to your right hip. Once again, modifications here. You can bring the knees down, or you can stagger your feet, or you can stack the feet. From here, we want to make sure that the shoulders are stacked on the left elbow. Roll back your right shoulder so your torso is facing straight to the outside. Drive the hips up as high as possible. Feeling some pretty intense engagement through your obliques here. That's what this is targeting. So you don't want to have a straight line. If you're looking at yourself from the side, your hips are actually higher than your feet are and your knees. From here, if you want to make it more challenging, that right arm can extend up. Make sure your head kind of pushes away from your body. And you want to feel the weight of your body in your left upper back here. If it's in the shoulder, kind of in the front, roll back the shoulder a little bit more. Now from here, adding in those pulses. So go up as high as you can. Inhale to release a little bit. Exhale, drive up. Inhale down. Exhale, drive up. And again, doing about 5 of those. Try to keep your breathing controlled here, especially as it's getting more challenging. If you can check in with your breathing and slow it down in and out of the nose, you'll be able to do this for longer. Last little thrust here. And then straight into it. Go ahead and plant your hands. Come back to a plank position. Go from one to the other just to kind of balance things out. And then from here, go into a down dog. Bend your knees. We haven't done any sort of hamstring mobility yet, so your knees might be, your hamstrings might be tight. And then from here, bring your feet together. You're going to lift your right leg up in the air. Try to keep the hips squared forward. Squeeze your right hamstring, right the back of the right thigh, so you're really squeezing that up. Take a breath in. As you exhale, bring your right knee to your right elbow. Come forward. Hike that knee up. Arch your back, or round your back. And then inhale back up. Exhale, knee to elbow. I'm doing 5 of these. And I like doing them slow and controlled rather than violently fast, because you should be able to control range of motion with this knee to elbow. You're going to get more out of that if you can work on holding your knee there and squeezing it up to your armpit versus just squeezing it quickly and then letting it go back up. Last one, come back up to the down dog, release the foot, come back into a plank, walk your hands out, just give yourself a little break. And then back to down dog. Bring your feet back together, lift your left leg up, squeeze your left hamstring so you're getting that leg up as high as possible. Keep the shoulders squared relatively. And then as you exhale, left knee, left elbow, come forward, squeeze that knee up toward the armpit, round your back, inhale back up. Exhale, knee to elbow, come forward, back up, knee to elbow. Keep going, but keep going slow. And as you're coming back up, you should feel the shoulders fully extend. You want to feel that engagement through your upper back. Last one here, knee to elbow, back up, plant the foot, come back to plank, and then take it down to forearm plank. And we're going to finish up here. So elbows squeeze toward your feet, press down through your arms so you're spreading your shoulder blades. Once again, working the serratus anterior we talked about. Breathe in and out of your nose, look slightly forward, lift your belly button. All right, guys, hope you enjoyed that workout. If you did, be sure to subscribe. Don't miss out on future workouts. We put out a new routine every week. Like the video if you found it helpful. I've also got a free 30-day challenge you can do right here on the YouTube channel. Link for that will be in the description below. If you want to check out another one of these 10-minute core workouts, go ahead and click over my left shoulder here. You can do that right now. Thanks, guys, for being here. I'll see you in the next workout.